All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Saturday, September 5th, 2020, and we have a little bit more, predictions to make here. So let's just jump into it. And of course, you've already probably seen the AFC South, NFC South, and the AFC West, NFC West videos we've already made. And today it's finally time we work on the AFC North and then NFC North. So of course, AFC North, let's do it. It's gonna go right to the standings here from last year. So this is how these videos kind of work. We introduce the standings from last year, and then we give, then we go over, kind of our thoughts on that. And then we quickly, then we go over the predictions for the coming season. So, should be quite interesting. So let's look at how the AFC North fared last year, and let's see if there's any improvement or anything. Of course, the Bengals finished in dead last place. They were the worst team in the NFL last year, going 2-14, securing Joe Burrow, securing a future. We'll see how everything plays out. AJ Green's expected to play this year. Joe Mixon just signed a long-term deal. So we'll see how everything goes for the Bengals. Are they going to be able to protect their young star quarterback? Only time will tell. And let's go on then to the Cleveland Browns, who finished in third place at 6-10. They wildly disappointed to many people's expectations of sort of what the Cleveland Browns could have been last year. Everybody was kind of picking them to be like a dark horse, like Super Bowl team or something. A lot of people had them outright in the playoffs. I tried to pump the brakes and get everyone go, hey, this is like a 7-9, maybe a 6-10 team at best. They might be able to squeak out 500 if they get really lucky. I didn't trust Freddie Kitchens as the coach. I thought they should have went with left him at coordinator and hired Greg Williams as the head coach of that team. Continue with the success they were having the year prior, but they didn't do that. We'll see if that changes with the hiring of the new coach. Stefanski, I believe, and we'll just see if Baker has a bounce back year after a very down year. All remains to be seen. The Pittsburgh Steelers went 8-8 despite losing Ben Roethlisberger in the second game to what was basically an exploded elbow. He tore like 3 tendons off the bone, basically almost needed Tommy John surgery to continue his career. Their defense was amazing. It emerged as one of the top units in the NFL. I'd imagine that defense continues that into next year. And I'd imagine they're going to be better because, 8-8 with the quarterback situation they had last year is pretty good. And I'd imagine Ben's worth 2 or 3 more wins in a lot of their very close games. A lot of their losses came by like 5 or less points. It's really crazy if you go look at it. Barely any blowout losses to the point where you're like, wow, if they had a better quarterback, this team might have been a playoff team. And we can look at the way Ben started the year against New England and go, well, his arm was clearly about to snap. It snapped in like the first 8 throws of the second game. So rough season for Pittsburgh. Let's see if they bounce back. We'll see. The Baltimore Ravens finished with a league best 14-2. They were the favorites to win the Super Bowl when the playoffs started. I said, if you go back and watch the Patriots versus Ravens live reaction I kind of said that after they beat the Patriots, I was like, that's cool. They can win every single game from here on out. Go undefeated, go win 2-3, only lose 2 or 3 games. They're going to lose their first postseason game. Doesn't matter who they play. They played the Titans, they lost. Boom. I predicted that one. I was way ahead of that curve. And I don't know. It was just something I seen about that team when I was watching them play. I was like, this isn't a playoff team. Now when we watch them play this year, will that change? I don't know. They fixed their pass rush. They added some good guys. We'll see how everything goes for the Ravens this year. Last year, a bit of a disappointment if you consider they could have been a Super Bowl team, but like a good thing for Ravens fans, for your long-term team, because you've seen your star quarterback develop in leaps and bounds just in an enormous amount from year to year. And I wonder what he's going to look like now with another year of development under his belt. I'm very excited for the Ravens. Not excited. I don't really like the team, but if you're a Ravens fan, you'd be excited. So anyway, let's go to the AFC North predictions. In fourth place, we're going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's look at their key losses. I say 5-11. They lost Dalton. Gain Burrow, lose Dalton. I don't know how you put that. They lost Tyler Eifert, Cordy Glenn, Andrew Billings, Darqueze Dennard, Dre Kirkpatrick, and Clayton Fejedelem. Those are pretty big losses. A lot of those guys minus Dalton are pretty big, significant losses on the defense. They gained in Mike Thomas, not that Thomas, but a different one. Xavier Su'a-Filo, DJ Reader, Mike Daniels, Josh Bynes, Trey Waynes, who's going to miss a lot of the season, and Von Bell. Waynes is hurt. They drafted Joe Burrow, T. Wiggins, Logan Wilson, and Khalid Kareem. Those are like the earlier picks that they were able to make. And when the reason I don't think the Bengals are necessarily that team quite yet is their biggest problem for me is the offensive line. I know it might be a little better than it was last year. It might, but like that's really the Achilles heel of this team is how poorly that offensive line plays. I think it's very, very bad. So, and I don't think they did enough to fix it. I figured they would have also, when drafting young Joe Burrow, they wouldn't have gone receiver with the next pick, with T. Higgins. They would have gone, let's build this kid a line. Protect him, keep him protected. That was the biggest problem with Dalton. He kind of rushed his throws because he was getting rushed fast. So I didn't see that corrected. I don't really trust a super young team like the Bengals are. I think they have a potential future with building around Burrow, but again, we got to see what this, it's going to be rough this year. They're still clearly rebuilding. So 5-11 for me. And then I have the Cleveland Browns fixing it up a little bit and going to 8-8. And I will explain why in a second. They lost, Greg Robinson, Justin McCray, Joe Schobert, TJ Carey, Demarius Randall, Justin Burris, Morgan Burnett, and Eric Murray. All kind of meh losses, but those are guys that were all right. They gained Annie Janovich, Austin Hooper, Jack Conklin, Adrian Claiborne, Andrew Billings, Carl Joseph, Andrew Sendejo. They drafted Jedrick Wills, Grant Delpit, Jordan Elliott, and Jacob Phillips. Grant Delpit is out for the season, by the way, with an injury. I believe it's Achilles or ACL. I can't remember which one it was, or it might even be a labrum. I can't remember for some reason. But the reason I have the Browns at 500 is number one, it's the Browns. And I know that might annoy Cleveland fans by me saying that, but it's just like, well, what was your excuse last year? The coaching? All right, well, I don't necessarily know how good this coach is going to be. Hopefully this first-time head coach is going to be is good enough to handle this team. Hopefully Baker Mayfield wasn't just a one-year wonder. Hopefully your team has chemistry. There's a lot of hopefullys. And for me to pick a team to do better than 500 when there is hopefully, everything with this team is, well, hopefully all these signings pan out. Last year, all the big signings didn't really contribute to many more wins. So hopefully these ones do, so we're still playing a game of hopefully with the Browns. And with a lot of teams, the Lions are one of them. There are teams also that I put at 500 or 7-9 that could do a lot better than that. And I think the Browns are one of those teams, but there's just so many hopefullys attached to this team with, hopefully this works. Hopefully that works. Hopefully the new coach, hopefully Odell and Baker get some chemistry. Hopefully Baker gets a little better than that. When you keep saying that, it's just like, all right, I'm going to put this team at 500 because they play in a really hard division that got a lot better. Every single team got a lot better, even the Bengals. It's not an easy run, but they could be good. Too many maybes for me. I'm going to put them at third, because I think the Steelers are going to be worth at least 2 more wins. I do see Big Ben as a +2 on a lot of those wins. They lost a lot of games by 5 points. Like, it's like less than 10 points. Like, a lot of games were less than a friggin' touchdown. And if that's really how much the Steelers are losing by, I trust that Big Ben, a Hall of Fame quarterback with really good numbers. He can elevate the play of the receivers around him. He's done that throughout his career. See guys like Martavius Bryant, Santonio Holmes. He created the career for Antonio Brown. He helped bring along Emmanuel. There's so many guys that Big Ben has been a part of and helped in their careers. He's a very good quarterback, kind of underrated to some extent outside of Pittsburgh, because he's kind of shitted on. So these are the losses. They lost Nick Van Nett, Raymond Foster, BJ Finney, Javon Hargrave, Mark Barron, and Sean Davis. All right, and they added in Derek Watt, Eric Ebron, Steven, I'm not even going to say that name, Chris Wormley, and they drafted Chase Claypool, a very big receiver, Alex Highsmith, and Kevin Dotson. I like the moves that they made. I think that they have one of the better defenses in the NFL that's going to put a lot of pressure on teams, going to hold a lot of teams to under 20 points. I think they can win a lot of games, like 24 to fucking 10, 24-17 type games, because they have Big Ben back. They can depend on Ben. Ben is in the best shape of his career, probably since he got drafted, according to everything I've seen and watched about the Steelers. Ben is back, so that is something we don't really have to have a maybe about. Ben's good and ready to play, by the way. By now, there would have been a problem with the amount of throwing he's probably been doing in camp. Like, I've seen a lot of throws. The throws have velocity. They look like old Big Ben. A lot of throws look better than the old Ben. He says he's not feeling pain for the first time in years. It's like, all right, we have to take everything at their word, and all the Steelers at their word, saying he's better, he looks good, we're fine, he's good to go, he's good to go. I feel like, yeah, he's good to go. We don't need any more maybes with Big Ben. He is good. 100% good to go. I don't know, like, and that's one of the things I also don't understand. It's like, why does everyone think he's gonna suck now? His arm's in the best shape it's been since he's a rookie, and the year before he got hurt, he had a crazy good year. So, barring a disaster, I see the Steelers as a clear playoff team this year. They're not going to win the division, but they're a clear playoff team. They were flirting with it last year without Big Ben. Big Ben puts them over the hump. Sorry, like, if that makes you mad, I don't really know what to tell you. Big Ben's a really good quarterback. He's a Hall of Fame. I don't know what else to tell you. A healthy Hall of Famer in the best physical shape that he's been in since he got drafted. No, he's gonna do shittier than usual. Okay. What? I mean, imagine thinking that. Imagine being like, well, he's clearly, everyone on the team has said he's clearly recovered from the injury. And he's in the best physical shape of his career. I just don't think he's gonna have it anymore. Based on what? Well, look at that one game he played against New England. Clearly hurt. Yeah. What about the whole year before that? Let's not do that. Let's look at that one game against New England. He was clearly hurt. Even the announcers were pointing out he was throwing the ball bad. But whatever. Let's move on. Steelers, playoff team, 10-6. I hate these two teams, by the way. This hurts me. Not as much as it hurt me to talk about Kansas City in any kind of positive light yesterday. It hurt. But it hurts to talk about these teams like this because they're annoying to my Patriots fandom. All right, number one obviously is going to be the Ravens. I don't know if they're going to go 14-2 again because their division got a lot better. So I went 13-3. I was going to go 12-4, but I went 13-3. I do think the AFC North is a very good division. I think so it got better, so it's going to cost them a game at least, maybe two. They lost Hayden Hurst, James Turst, Marshall Yanda, Michael Pierce, Chris Wormley, Josh Bynes, Earl Thomas, Brandon Carr, and Tony Jefferson. Yeah, I know I put Earl Thomas way too early. They gained DJ Fluker, Derek Wolfe, Calais Campbell, and they drafted Patrick Queen, very good linebacker. J.K. Dobbins, Justin, I'm not going to say that, Devin Duvernay, Malik Harrison, Tyree Phillips, and Ben Breedeson. Those were their like significant picks, I guess. So they're clearly going to be good again. I feel like they're a Super Bowl contender, even with losing Earl Thomas. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. They have some players that were already kind of starting to step up and look like they could be the inevitable replacement for Earl. So, yeah, it seems like it's an obvious thing. They fixed up their biggest weakness, which is rush defense. Calais Campbell, Patrick Queen, boom. Rush defense is like loads, eons better now. Getting Campbell, getting Campbell was huge for them. I personally think. The offensive line lost a few guys. I did notice that, but I wonder how they'll probably have some kind of replacement for Hurst and Yanda. So I don't know. They're going to be hard to beat. It's going to be hard to play against Lamar. The team's going to be a year older. Mark Andrews a year older. Hollywood's a year older. Lamar's a year older. So now they have a good backup for Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. Like, this is a pretty good team, and they have a great GM in the replacement of Ozzie Newsome. It's just the whole team. It's a very well-run team, and it sucks that they're so well-run. So that's my AFC North predictions. I don't have much to say about the Ravens. They're very, very good. So it goes Ravens number one, then the Steelers, and then the Browns and the Bengals. So we can look at the playoffs. I didn't spoil my NFC picks for the North this time, like I've been doing the last couple of videos. I fucking didn't notice that. And then so it looks like I finally picked an AFC wildcard team. I said a team that's clearly going to get in. By the way, if you're paying attention, do I really think that... I think the Titans and I think the Broncos might be making the playoffs based on how everything's looking. Because there's obviously the Patriots left. And then who else? We'll see. So my next AFC one's going to be the AFC is the one I'm sure everybody's waiting for. The one that is no bias, going to be contained. So I think the Ravens are right now are the number 1 seed, the Chiefs, the Colts, and then the Steelers at number 5. So that's so far what the AFC wild cards looking like. The NFC is kind of bare still. Got to add those guys in a little later. So that is pretty much the end of that. A little bit longer than the last couple ones, but I was a little more long-winded on a couple of these topics. So yeah, so let me know what you think. It goes Ravens at 13-3, Steelers 10-6. The Browns at 8-8, and then the Bengals at 5-11. That's kind of how I feel the division's going to go. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure people would disagree with me. That's totally fine. Just comment down below. Let me know. I'll get back to you. Even if you agree, comment down below and I'll get back to you. It's fun. I like to get back to comments. So again, though, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you're new, consider subscribing. Both those things are free and they help the channel grow. So you might as well do it. It doesn't hurt you if you want to. I don't know. Should. But anyway, so those are the AFC North predictions. The NFC North predictions is coming out very, very shortly, or it's already out, and now you can go watch that too. And then, tomorrow's the AFC East, and then we're done predicting divisions. Following Monday is the playoffs. Tuesday is the pick'em video, and probably like random predictions, or I'll save that for Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Leave a like, leave a comment, and all that other YouTube jazz. Thank you. Bye. Go Lions. Go Patriots. Fuck the free world. Yeah.